Well, for those of you who only tune in for this part of the show, this is where we talk about what's happening in the WWE TV universe, both Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and the premium live events. Lee, last Saturday was Survivor Series, and we saw three huge returns. First was Ron Killings. R-Truth is back. The return of R-Truth, the 48-time 24/7 champion. The second was Randy Orton, came back during the War Games match. And the third, War Games. And the third, with a lot of speculation, with no credibility behind the rumors, we thought CM Punk is back in the WWE universe. Three huge returns. Which of those returns will have the biggest impact? Which will get the most TV time? Which will you care about and you're excited to see?
Clearly R-Truth. I mean, clearly.
Absolutely.
No, I mean, I joke, but the comedy, I know Wrestle Talk, Pete Quinnell downplayed it in his review of Raw, but the comedy segment with R-Truth, I was like, I'm glad this is back. Like, this is the worst kind of dad jokes, but because they lean into the fact that it's so bad, it's so good.
He was looking for Jelly Roll, and like the country singer Jelly Roll was there. But by the way, in that match later in the night, Jelly Roll pushed the soul out of Dominic Mysterio. He shoved him so hard that I thought Dominic's spirit left his body, like in a ghost movie. Like, it was incredible to see that.
No, clearly the answer is CM Punk, though. I mean, I know it's funny because, and I'm not like building myself up on this or whatever, but I just thought it was so clear that if CM Punk did not come back, I legitimately was texting my buddy Graham Kelly, and I told him, like, if CM Punk doesn't come back, I guarantee Chicago will burn that building to the ground. Like, I was so convinced of it. And then I saw
Remember the poster? If Cena wins, we riot. Remember that old poster? Right. If Cena wins, we riot. That's why I thought if Orton is the lone return, we riot. So
I mean, it would have been fine. It would have been fine. I mean, Orton's amazing. Like, and that RKO, let's just call it out. That was one of the best RKOs I've ever seen in my life.
Incredible timing. Off the top of the cage, they threw McDonough. He swan dove into Randy Orton's arms and received an RKO that was, I mean, out of nowhere, but really it was unprecedented. I don't think that had ever been done. And that's a dangerous move, to grab somebody's neck mid-air
when they're falling 15 feet
and try to safely land them under your arms. He had on a neck brace the next night, and I thought, maybe that's real. Maybe he really earned that neck brace last night. So
I don't think it was, but then okay, so let's talk. I mean, obviously it's Randy Orton.
So if Punk is back, what do they do with Punk, Lee? What do they put him in who do they put him in a program with?
Oh, well, that part's easy, but let me just go first with, imagine what it's like to be Randy Orton right now. You've been out for 18 months. You're one of the greatest of all time, even though I find him mostly boring. But you're one of the greatest of all time, and CM Punk showing up in street clothes at the top of the ramp and waving is all anybody wants to talk about. That RKO is going to be in the highlight reel for the rest of his career and beyond. And yet what really gets talked about is CM Punk stood and went, "Hey, all, how you doing? Time."
The next this week on Raw, Mommy Rhea Ripley came out and used that angle in her promo. And she told Randy Orton, imagine getting upstaged by CM Punk after 2 years and you return. And she tried to use that as an angle of, like, are you with us or are you against us? Like, are you a free agent? Do you want to join the Judgment Day? Or are you now our enemy? Like, we're going to attack you if you're not interested. Which was pretty brilliant writing, I think, to actually call it out. Yeah. You think Punk?
I think they're leaning into it big. Yeah.
Is Punk headed to the heel side or to the face side of things?
Well, they played it really nice because he did the whole, I know it sounds cheesy, guys, but I'm home. Like, it's when The Rock came back after 7 years. But this is almost parallel in a lot of ways. You know, CM Punk maybe doesn't have as much cred as The Rock, but in the wrestling world, he strangely does. But The Rock came back after 7 years, and you remember is finally The Rock has come back. Dramatic pause. Home. And CM Punk like echoed that statement. Like not as much
Yeah,
panache with it as Rock
right.
had, as Dwayne The Rock Johnson had, but I'm home, right? And and it hit, right? That was a baby face moment. He said, AJ's fine. She says hi, right? Like teasing that AJ Lee maybe would come back. April
Are we going to
Mendez
see
might
her?
rejoin.
You think we'll see her?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think that's part of this. I think this is like, I don't know if
Hmm.
she wants to come back, but I can't imagine that she wouldn't want a run. She was out of her era. She was an amazing wrestler when all they cared about was divas. And
Right.
now she would fit so much better. Like if she came back now and could still go at a high level, she would be in her element. They would be equals to her as opposed
Pretty
to her
sure
just
Cora
clearly being the
Jade is
best.
using her
So
her exact character already.
gimmick, yeah,
I think
kind of.
so. I think Cora Jade is AJ Lee, and I think on the competitions brand, I think Sky Blue is doing the same thing. So
Yeah,
anyway, basically, girl with a backwards hat, or
right.
maybe it's
Punk,
a
the punk
continuation of
look.
Nikki Bella, high
Yeah,
socks. It's all Nikki. It's just Nikki
kind of,
into AJ into Cora. Yeah. So,
kind of. Well, Nikki, I
ooh,
mean, like AJ was kind of like goth punk, right? And Nikki was like, I'm the pretty girl who's pretending that I'm kind of punk like, it was like, it's because it's popular, so that's why I'm punk. But she was like,
gross.
no, I
That's
am a punk, and
gross.
I married a punk.
That's
So,
gross.
oh, but
Uh,
I think AJ comes back. But then at the end of the promo, Phil famously said, I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make money. That comment did two things. One, it set up a possible heel move right away, right? I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make money. So he is Hollywood CM Punk. That's the NWO play. Here's the click play. What did Scott Hall famously say? I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make money. That was his calling card for the Click, which famously ran wrestling. So, right in that moment, CM Punk positioned himself as the next Hollywood Hogan, which he is controversial enough to match that. And he positioned himself as maybe that was a shot towards Triple H, not in a bad way, but like a Triple H and I are now the authority here, right? Like maybe
Fascinating.
we're in line.
I didn't see
Yeah.
that
So that
angle at
comment
all.
did
That's
wonders.
fascinating. Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
I I I I I thought he was gonna they're gonna reintroduce the $1 million championship belt, and he was gonna wear it. He's
Billion
gonna be.
dollar Phil, where's the $1 million belt? One bill Phil.
Could you
Oh man.
do you see any possibility of CM Punk becoming the leader of the Judgment Day? Like, is that lame? Is that not? I mean, is he even going to be on
Maybe.
the same show? That's another question. Is
He
like,
will. Yeah, he's
is
gonna be on
Punk
Raw.
heading to? Is it Raw
Mm-hmm.
only? And
Yeah.
is Raw the show
Maybe
they're still
both, but certainly Raw.
shopping and they're looking for a buyer for? Is that it?
Yes, let me hit that because that's so this is the play. And this is where I think the real world is almost even more interesting than the soap opera with men in tights. So famously, CM Punk called himself One Bill Phil, $1 billion Phil. The relation to that comment was that the head of Warner Brothers Discovery, and I can't remember his name right now, so forgive me or drop it in the comments section. The
Sure.
head of Warner Brothers Discovery is considering doing a big deal with AEW specifically because Phil or CM Punk is worth $1 billion to them. That's the one
What?
person that they were doing that for. Now, there are already rumors that Warner Brothers Discovery are in talks through CM Punk to make a deal for WWE Raw, and AEW will be dropped.
You mean dropped as in
They won't be
just
considered.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
they wouldn't be on there because they're Warner Brothers Discovery is who their deal is through. So they would have to find a new deal. They would lose their contract because WWE famously has clauses in their contract that if we're on your network, you cannot contain any other programming that is
Right,
sports entertainment wrestling
right.
related. So Phil, that is
Huh.
One Bill Phil, CM Punk, might have actually just nail in the coffin AEW with one move. Because if this is true, that the head of WB Discovery, Warner Brothers Discovery, is so convinced that he's one Bill Phil, he could theoretically now go, yes, we now want Raw because that's where you are. We'll sign a multi-billion-dollar deal for Raw,
Wow.
and we will drop AEW off of our programming. Wow, would that change the industry? CM Punk literally could have just changed the industry forever with one move showing up on Raw. Yeah.
That's a lot to think about. I hadn't read any. This is the first time I'm hearing it. So wow.
And your face said everything.
Well, because I guess my mind is always working kind of like in story. Like, how are they going to use him? Is he going to be good or bad?
Right.
Is he gonna slow down Cody's momentum? Is he gonna somehow cut in line? And so like basically as a Cody Rhodes, mark, I'm over here thinking like, oh no, what if they give Punk Cody's opportunities,
Right.
And I don't want that. But he can
He's
run.
He's going to face Seth Rollins in the main event of night one. I'm calling. I called CM Punk coming back. I'm going to call back night one of WrestleMania.
Oh,
CM Punk versus Seth Rollins for the World Consolation Weight Prize Championship.
You think? So you think Rollins is going to hold that title all the way till Mania in May?
I do now.
March. Wow.
I do now. Yeah. Even if it's not, but I mean, I can't imagine them not wanting that for the belt. I mean, think about, they literally delayed Cody Rhodes' story for a year just so Roman could hit some imaginary numbers, right? So why wouldn't they delay Seth Rollins another few months to face CM Punk?
And gosh, and Cody had some injuries. Cody had some obviously setbacks with the torn pec and all that,
right.
and we didn't see him for months right after,
which is why that would have been so good for him to win it last WrestleMania, but whatever. Night 2 is going to be Roman Cody. Night 1 is going to be Seth versus CM Punk. I'm calling those main events right now, and I'm sticking to them.
I would love to see Punk have the title before Mania, come into Mania with the title, and Cena beat him to break the championship record that he's just been stagnant at forever, and he'll edge out Ric Flair and take that as truly as the greatest of all time. That would be so but for that to happen and for that to be credible and enjoyable, they would have to make Punk the most outrageous heel. And Cena was finally coming back to make things right. His comeuppance to quelch this guy that's out of control, right? Let him run amok. Let Punk be the Tasmanian devil and just ruin everything for everyone. Nice. And then let Cena be, kind of the real American hero, that baby face, the greatest baby face the company has ever had. And to finally put that evil down. It is problem solved. And now Cena retires appropriately, adequately, and then they can go into
done it all.
Yeah. And now Cena lays the belt down in the ring the next night on Raw, starts a new King of the Ring tournament, et cetera, et cetera.
Ooh, something fun. I like this fun.
Make it fun and make Punk be what he is. He's a bad guy. He's not a good guy.
Figure.
He's a heel. He's likable as a heel. He's the heel we want. He's the heel we need. He's the anti-hero.
He needs to lean into it.
Yeah. Just be a heel, dude.
So for me, and I know I said it a minute ago, but this is deep. Like, if you think about it, this is CM Punk becoming Hollywood Hulk Hogan. And famously, CM Punk called Hulk Hogan the worst backstage politicker, the cancer, the blah, blah, blah. And now everybody's calling those same words to him. And so this is his Hollywood Hogan moment where he just comes out and he says, I embrace this, right? I am a force of chaos. I am the bad guy. I am, he uses those early NWO programs, right? The way that they kind of brought in, I am the best this industry's ever seen. You call me a cancer, well, I'll be a cancer. Watch me. I've become what I hated. I've become Hollywood. You know, I mean, he's not gonna refer to Hulk Hogan, but that same pathway, right? And he is Hollywood CM Punk in essence, right?
What
And
if
then
he
he is the bad
spray
guy.
painted Rollins heavyweight title with
Yeah.
CMP over it?
Or the
Like,
X, like he has
yeah,
the
yeah.
AEW title.
Oh, the
Because he
X.
still has the AEW whatever, the one that he had with the X on it, he still has that belt. Like technically they could do a Ric Flair moment where he comes out and says, this is the real title right here, the
What?
real world's champion.
That's insane.
They
I would
wouldn't
love
do it.
it.
They're not going
I
to
would
acknowledge
love
AEW that
it.
way.
But I don't think Triple H is probably calculating what's best for business, and he wants things to be amicable, and he has relations on some level with the Khan family. And so I mean, gosh, that would be incredible though.
Yeah,
But like
it would be.
McMahon hated billionaire Ted. Like he hated Turner. And so I don't think that level of animosity is there. I just don't think it's there. I mean, it'd be great if it was, but I don't think it is.
I mean, he's called it a pissant company before, when like Billy Gunn was when they brought him in for that one special DX reunion, Hall of Fame, whatever it was,
Oh
and he
yeah.
said, "Oh, you're from that pissant company over there, right?" So
Ooh.
like he's taken shots before, and certainly let us not mistake the fact that behind the scenes, allegedly, there's been contract tampering. They've been calling up guys. And Wrestle Talk just did a special this week. You can find it on WrestleTalk.com and on their YouTube channel, where they've talked about now that CM Punk has shifted over. Cody was already there. They're seeing how big this is getting. There are legitimately people who are saying, like, I just want to be done with AEW, right? We don't know who, speculation running wild, but certainly FTR, Miro, Malachi Black, Andrade, like all these guys that got pushed off onto the Collision show
They
with
want to come
CM
back.
Punk.
They want
to come back. Yeah, and there's reason to believe that because they are now ex AEW, Triple H will go, look what we do with your roster. Cody's in the world champion
What if
scene.
that's
CM
the
Punk's in the
faction?
world champion
What if that's
scene.
CM Punk's NWO
Collision
type faction?
They call
just
Collision.
The guys that come back.
Oh,
what about the guys, the outsiders,
CMFTR,
if you will? That would be incredible. If
I would take that.
Aleister Black was featured prominently again.
Yeah. Rusev Day.
Oh man, like bring it all back. Bring it all back.
Andrade, he's married to Charlotte Flair in real life. He wants back.
Andrade's the one that I'm least excited about, only because Santos Escobar is the new Andrade and doing exactly what Andrade would be doing if he was still in the program.
Right. No, but I love this. Like, even if they just flat went with the name NWO, I know that's lack of creative or whatever. Collision, I think, would be hilarious. I think they'd get sued, but whatever. But yeah, if you had CM Punk, FTR, Andrade, Miro, and Aleister Black, and they are the new like NWO style faction.
Let me remind you of the last time CM Punk was in the WWE.
Yeah.
He brought up 3 enforcers known as the Shield. CM Punk called up, right, for his hitman were Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Dean Ambrose.
Yeah, John Moxley.
Those were the 3 NXT call-ups that dealt with Cena and put him through tables.
Right.
And they were Punk's hitmen. How incredible would it be to see Punk's hitmen out of nowhere come and ransack, take the WWE by storm the way the Shield did? And it be Aleister Black, Rusev. I mean, maybe they
FTR.
Do they keep their names? Do they just keep?
Well, they get their original back.
Or
no, right now they're Malachi and.
Would you want Rusev? Would you want the Bulgarian brute back, or would you want who he really is just to be his real name? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know how trademark works on that. I mean, John Cena is a trademark of WWE. Literally, his name is owned by
Right.
WWE. So there's no telling if Miro, that's his real name, is owned
Right.
by Tony Khan now. I would
What if they
doubt
show
it
up
the
in
way they
black
run
cargo
contracts, but
pants and SWAT team gear?
yeah.
What if they're
Do the
called the
Shield
Shield?
sound.
What if they're just
Oh, that would
called
be
the Shield?
hilarious.
The
And
Shield.
they come against Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns.
And just
Like that
beat
would
their
be
living,
oh,
just the fire out of them and throw them through tables.
that would be awesome.
Come on. Somebody out there in creative has got to be hearing this or thinking these things. Last time Punk, he brought back this faction that took the whole, basically the entire company hostage because of how
Right.
dominant they were. Let's do it again. Come on.
NWO Shield led by Punk. I am in. And I think this could be billion-dollar television. So congratulations on getting your deal with Warner Brothers Discovery, bankrupting AEW just by bringing over CM Punk.
No doubt.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
If you use any of these ideas, WWE, I just would ask that you would send me a men's 3XL t-shirt so that I could support what you're doing.
One t-shirt.
That's all
That's
I
what our
require.
ideas are worth.
One t-shirt. One
Wow.
T, and I'm good. I'm good. I don't need it. I don't need
That's
the
official.
millions.
That's on record right now. As
I
soon
don't
as
need
this goes
millions of
live,
dollars.
that's
I do this as a hobby. I do it for the love of the game.
oh well, bud. That's a little low of a score, a little bit of a price. What Everybody's got a price, and it's one 3XL t-shirt.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think
Maybe
I don't
even
know.
a 4X so I can sleep in it. Be like my cozy shirt. Why don't you
Oh
take
my
us out,
goodness.
Lee? I'm going to mute.
That's right.
I've said it
Well,
all.
hey, our crazy booking ideas aside, I just want to say I officially love everybody in this community. You guys are awesome. Go smash gyms together, watch wrestling, enjoy ourselves because this is a fun community with an amazingly weird thing to bond around. And we'll see you next time.